Welcome back, Hunters. I'm the SurvivalVis, and we returned to Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate G rank. So, last week we had our Water Week series, which was Tiger Stripes Amtrios, Tidal Najarala, and then the Plum Domino Hermitor, just to keep that theme going. This week, it's going to be a little bit of an alliteration week. We have the snake, the spider, and the spitters. So the first monster we're going to go after is actually regular Najarala. And after Tidal Najarala, I don't know how this fight's going to go. Like, Tidal Najarala, the first fight was actually probably one of the best times I had against it, because I had to farm it for a number of materials to make some stuff, and it almost felt like the more I fought it, the worse of a hunt it became. It was one of the monsters where you kept, like, running into these same things over and over again, where it was kind of hard to deal with, or just kind of lost its shine and appeal very quickly. So how regular Najarala is going to fare in comparison, I don't exactly know. I know when we fought it in low rank, it wasn't bad because our armor was actually kind of felt matching and proper for when we encountered it. High rank version I know was a bit rough because we didn't have a good evade extension or a set that was really properly built for taking on high rank monsters yet. Whereas G rank now, you can see I actually have us in the full Plum Domino Hermitor set. And that's going to give us the recoil down +2. You have to gem that up to get level 2. But it has that. Evade extender, guts might be helpful, where if I take a really bad hit, I'll still survive it. And pierce up. I could try slotting in Cluster Shot Plus, but I don't know how powerful that would actually be. So I figure I'll just stick with this and go with our pierce build. And we are using the heavy Crab Buster for it. So this does give us the +40 defense in there and has some very nice pierce capabilities. So overall, we're just going to go try to see how we do against regular Najarala and take it down this episode. Yeah, there you are. Just have to wound the head. And my guess is this is going to be a lot easier of a hunt than Tidal was. Because on review of Tidal Najarala, it actually has some really weird, weak zones if you're a gunner. You actually have to aim for the arms and the hind legs if you want the highest hit zone values. Whereas regular Najarala, you just keep shooting for the head and you're going to do just fine. Another thing, too, was that Tidal Najarala, where you think you should have hit, had very low or poor hit zone values. But we'll see how regular one holds up. I do think this one's going to be a bit easier than Tidal was. We just have to see how it plays out. I mean, we still do have the coil. After so many, if you have to farm Najarala, I think the coil is going to be one of the most annoying things you'll come into, hating about the monster. Oh, okay, so when he flings those out, they do have a little sonic field around them. I feel like that's actually stayed consistent up until, Generations Ultimate, because I feel like that's not really that different. Oh, you little Nahab bugger. Yeah, see, we've already gotten a flinch off, so I'm guessing we're going to have a lot more of those in time with being able to get headshots reliably. Oh, yeah, there's another flinch. And I will have to see what we're going to make, or what we might make with his parts. I remember his... Oh. Okay, that's not good. Yeah, evade extender is crucial on this hunt because of how wide-hitting that tail can, get out to. Oh, another flinch. And already subquest complete. Yeah, Tidal, it took forever for us to actually break the head proper, so you can already see the big difference the hit zones can make. But the bigger thing I'm probably going to have to be cautious of are all the sound blasts, because those already were his most powerful thing in high rank. Come G rank, they're probably going to be even worse. So we'll try to keep some distance, mind ourselves around the shards that he flings out. Case in point. Oh, and he can do that. So he's got an almost instant rattle. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Come on, Calico, get in here. Oh my god. What the hell? Okay, so his coil attack is even worse now. But what was that, like, 3-4 paralysis bites in a row there? I don't feel like that was supposed to happen. I thought he would have gone right to, like, a hard coil attack. Probably would have put our gut skill right to use if it actually got off, but... yeah, the coil, my big problem is you almost have, like, this weird semi-flinch. Where it knocks you down... a flinch just kind of, like, makes you stop your animation, but this one is a little bit of, like, a mix of being knocked down and a flinch, where it's not a full knockdown to get any vulnerability, but it's also worse than a regular flinch where you do have this animation of having to get yourself up again. Overall, though, I'm not noticing too much of a difference, like, not having the defense skill on this set. Like, no, actually, somehow... oh, Lord. Oh, he can chain these up real... oh, well, we're out of the coil at least, but I was not planning to take the detour out of the area. I'm surprised how much he's able to chain the coils together. One of the worst things about Tidal is you would try to run away or get out of the coil, you'd be just about to, then he'd do the loop around, which, like, does that weird flinch knockdown. I'm just going to take my time before I come back up, because I don't know where he'll... oh, there it is. I wasn't sure if it would give us distance coming back up, or it'd be, like, still stuck up there. And keep some good distance from that. Yeah, he's definitely got a lot less wind-up for a lot of his attacks now. And there's Guts activating, so that'll keep us alive from one lethal hit per card. And it's not really a lot, but you know what, thank you, Runa. And there are times where you're pretty spotty with whether you help or not, but at least this one... okay, I think he's changing areas. Yeah, it's on the move. See, it's not as rough as I was expecting, but it's certainly a monster that can catch you off guard if you are not prepared for a lot of these more chained attacks it can do. I thought it came out this way. Maybe it went all the way... maybe it's going to try to find Slagtoth to eat. That could be where it's gone to. Oh, well, it came to visit the Slagtoth. It doesn't look like it wanted to come to eat. Another flinch is good, and now we're into the high-capacity Pierce 2s. So one nice thing about the Heavy Crab Buster is just the amount of Pierce 2s you can have loaded in at a time. And you know what? I want to try to get away from the wall, because Najarala, with a lot of its attacks covering so much ground, it's a good idea to try to be more middle of the map. It definitely seems like it'll easily, like, ride itself along the walls. And attacks that you think wouldn't be able to, like, wall ride, it just does with them. Okay, let's see. It's going to probably, yeah, popping out like that. Okay, get out of the way of that. Some attacks are still very slow and easy to read, like his digging one, so at least that's nice. Although, again, I don't know what's with the Slagtoth want to be suicidal like this. Like, do not get between the hunter and the monster. That should be common sense. Okay, we'll reload. Of course, got hit by that because I had to scratch my head. Yes, those wide sweeping attacks, it almost feels like... it feels like Najarala actually might be a bit too big for, like, classic Monster Hunter design. Like, one of the things that's been pretty good about the games for, like, most of its... oh, see, that's the weird, like, flinch knockdown. It's not quite a... it's a little more than a flinch, not a full knockdown, and it's just enough to, like, be a nuisance that you can't do much about till you are standing again. And let's mine that, because we don't want to get pinned. Those rattles are still hard to break. I was hoping to get the tail and the rattles along the back of his head broken. There we go. Got out of that, okay. Yeah, I really gotta mind his shards now. Nope, and this is probably another digging attack. I don't think he's leaving the area yet. Oh, no, actually, it does seem to be the case. It is leaving. We'll just snag a... Nope, actually, I thought there'd be a health thing there, but we got the subquest done, so before we pursue, let's just get some extra healing to make sure we're okay. And then we'll continue on. I do feel like, though, just like Tidal, the Najaralas can be a little bit of a nuisance to farm stuff for, just because they have the combination of a lot of locking effects. Like, there's the coil that if you get knocked down, trying to get out a few times will be frustrating. There's the paralysis bites that'll be an issue. And though you can use, like, earplugs or that, I kind of feel like maybe he'd be over here trying to find food. I might be mistaken, but I'll just take a check. There's, like, you can use the earplugs to mitigate some of the roar locks or sound locks, but it's still going to be a lot of your hunter just getting locked up that you can't do much to get out of it. And that's probably one of, I think, the 4th generation's weakest parts, is it feels like a lot of monsters have these super lockdown techniques that are just annoying to really fight against. Like, it kind of feels a little bit cheap for how Monster Hunter usually is, where you can... Oh, actually, well, aside from that weird little... Oh, crap, I'm stuck in them. Yeah, see, there's the wall riding that I always best stay more in the middle of the areas. But Monster Hunter is usually pretty good where even if you don't have Evade Extender, most attacks you should be able to time right and dodge out of, whereas, like, this is a prime example of where I feel like they failed how Monster Hunter usually is pretty fair for, like, how the hunts are. Like, the coil especially can be nuisance. Okay, well, at least we're holding out okay. I say that, but he's going to go into, yeah, more coiling attacks. It's basically a guarantee after every roar. He's going to do the coils. So some of them are pretty predictable, but others are, again, you kind of like feel cheaped into it. And avoid that. And I'm going to see if I can get the mount. That should let us break the rattle pretty easily if we can get this off. Oh, we're going to be able to stab right away. Let's see if we can break this sucker with a proper mount. Oh, shoot. I didn't realize we weren't going to get our opening. There we go. There we go. Okay, rattle is broken. We just got the tail to do, and then we can wrap him up and just focus on the head. Since it is the first hunt, it always pays to try to get as many breaks as you can from materials and unlocking stuff. Yeah, see, again, it just feels so cheap that you don't have much time to be able to, like, interact or do anything about some attacks. I'm okay with G rank being punishing, but there's a difference between a challenge and just cheap. And something like that, in my opinion, is just cheap. Let's restock and head out. But yeah, that is prime example of where it just feels too cheap for how it plays out. I don't think we'll need to craft more ammo because we've been doing pretty well for the most part aside from that incident. And we do have the number of breaks As soon as that tail's broken, we can just focus in on the head, and it should be very quick to put it down. I'm guessing it might be in the next area. That Slagtoth looked a little nervous or anxious. Yeah, there it is. Okay, you cheap bugger. I think you're going to be more of a pain to farm than Tidal was. Tidal did have some cheap tactics, but nothing has really come close to, like, this combination Roar Lock, Stun Lock, Super Hit. And so it makes me... And again... Okay. So thanks to the rattle being broken, that attack's lessened. It might actually be a smart idea to try breaking the tail first on Najarala hunts, because it seems like every shard he flings out comes from the tail more so. So it might just be having to do a little bit of change in tactics, and that can make the hunt a little bit better. And I will at least applaud, like, this fight, if it is the case of, okay, break the tail, and you have a severe change in how the fight goes. Because one thing about Barioth in Iceborne is kind of, I could see it being on the fence about, is how he's kind of a wall, is until you break the wings, Barioth definitely seems to have, like, the advantage against you in the hunt. But once even one wing's broken, it gets a little bit more of an even playing field. Okay, there we go. Tail is broken. This might be a digging attack or an area transition. Oh, digging attack, okay. That seals that up pretty quick. And now we can just focus our shots in through the head, and that should hopefully put it down quick enough. Yeah, okay, so that might be the best strategy, is break the tail first, or aim a lot of your efforts at that, and that'll mitigate the amount of shards it'll fling out at you. Now with those mitigated, a lot of the more cheap attacks are a lot harder for him to pull off or get you by. So it is about prioritizing which part to focus on first, because yeah, you're still able to send the one out, but it's far better than having both going out. Oh, but it still has quite the range on it. Ow. No, he can still fling two out, so maybe that tactic is not going to be as viable as I was expecting it to be. And God, does that tail have a range. Okay, yeah, let's just heal up, because I don't think he'll be able to get the attack in if he's going to. Looks like he's transitioning. I still want to be cautious because we have had the one cart so far. But I guess it really is just you're going to have to slog through him with a lot of his attacks flinging the shards out. Either that or maybe no, that's still two. Okay, and that's going to be, I think, yeah. Evade Extender, you are the saving grace in G rank. I think we're far enough out not to get hit by that. Okay, what are you up to now? Okay, another coil. Yeah, again, I feel like this hunt would be better if it just didn't knock you over when he did the spin around. Oh, okay, there we go. It's limping now. Okay, well, yeah, I'll see about using normal 2s because those... I don't know how far along, like, the hit zone for the head carries through the neck. So it's probably going to be more effective to use normal 2s to try to get highest damage to just the head on its own. It should only be a few more shots, and we'll have it put down, and then we'll see what the armor and... Oh, shoot, it's not asleep. And yeah, this is... Okay, we got lucky, so there are... So it might be breaking the Rattler has helped to, like, change the amount of time it takes for the things to explode. So there are some ways you can actively mitigate Najarala's more oppressive attacks. It just is going to take some time and a number of part breaks to do so. And yes, you're going to coil around. And although we were out of the coil, we could still get hit by that. Oh. God, tight areas, weird little hops and divots. I will always hold firm that the 4th generation had the worst maps of the series. Without doubt. Because the monsters did not feel sized to, like, fit in them for good fights at times. This isn't the worst area for it. There we go. But it's still one where you have the example of it can be a bit problematic. Especially with a large-sized monster like Najarala is. But we'll carve it up, get all the rewards, and we'll take a look at the armor and see what the skills and stats are. I'll probably be trying to get the materials for his bowgun upgrade only. I don't think the armor's going to have much for gunners to it. No, another heart-stopping beak, but I think I've got an overload of those thanks to having to farm Tidal. And between the two, I do think I'd actually say I prefer Tidal Najarala hunt-wise. Like, as much as the little water globs are a bit annoying and him always backing up makes him hard to reach, at least a fair number of his attacks don't feel as lock oppressive as Najarala's. Like, again, a lot of sound locks, his coil, if you're at the wrong spot, he'll just knock you down and up, the paralysis bite. There's a number of things that I can see causing him to be a bit of a nuisance to try to farm and hunt repeatedly. But at least we got another one done, and that is our snake taken care of. So next episode will be the spider, and that one will be an interesting one. Unfortunately, not a lot of materials. Well, a couple of amp sounders, so that's pretty good, though. Oh, a number of things there, so those should help a lot. Actually, oh, that was a short one. That might be a problem. Like, it wasn't a crown small, but if that was a short ranked one, or generally a shorter sized one, the larger ones are going to be even more problematic. So I don't know how to feel about that. Well, let's take a little look at the armor now that we got it unlocked. I'm pretty sure it should just be the same as Tidal stuff. Yeah, it basically is. It's just the color difference. You know, I kind of dig the coloration a little bit more than Tidal, just because for Tidals, although I'm a fan of, like, blue, my favorite color, I do have to say I like this one more, as it kind of feels like this Mesoamerican Aztec style to it. But skill-wise, Tenderizer, Tranquilizing, Hearing. It's not terrible, but it's also one of the ones that's going to be very niche, because Tenderizer depends entirely on the hit zone values of monsters. The 4th generation seems to be one that really has very few hit zones actually hit the part, or the hit zone needed to trigger it. So it's a diminishing return skill, and the Tranquilizer is only really good if you're going to capture monsters. Hearing is a pretty nice one overall, but again, I don't think it'd be worth it. I just want to check on the chest. Yeah, so it does carry just through for the same looks. And then we'll actually get a better look at this in the Spitters episode, because we'll be using the Tidal Najarala and a different weapon for that episode. But yeah, for now, It's definitely one I don't think I'll be making. However, I will probably be looking to get a few more materials. Oh, that's nice to see. I only need a few more Cortexes for the Ravager Blast. And then I should also show off, we do have the Azure Blast here. Yes, this is Tidal Najarala's. It is just the recolor. Nothing too much to say there. What does it really... It basically just has very good normal capacity, and that's about it. But I still haven't found a good normal capacity armor set yet. So we'll keep an eye out for that, and I think that's about all to show off. I don't think there's any other weapons we've unlocked to show off for... Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything new. No, those aren't. Hang on, what was that? Okay, no, that's just Amtriosis. Okay, yeah, so we're going to end this episode off right here. Oh, hang on. There we go. Thank you guys very much for joining me on this first episode of Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate G Rank for the week. If you did enjoy the video, you should give a like, and if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, you should let me know in the comments right down below. How do you guys find Najarala and Tidal to hunt? It's definitely one of those ones where, depending on how certain attacks line up, I think it can be really infuriating. But if you're able to have enough experience, you might be able to offset or, again, get a hearing build and make things a lot more trivial fighting it. This build, it at least kind of kept us alive, so we're probably going to carry it forward in the next episode and see how it does. Until I see you in the next video, Hunters and Survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy hunting.